The information contained herein is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, welcome to episode 2 of SmokinMan. In episode 1, I told you who I was, I told you what I would like to do, and I told you I needed money, and I still do. So, I also mentioned that smokers around the world have to unite, and that I want to unite them. All right. Now, I'll tell you a little later how you can contribute to this grassroots movement that I'm trying to start and lead. But before I do, in episode 1 I told you about how the government, in partnership with Big Pharma and the other fanatics out there that are anti-smokers, how they're trying to kill us off. And before I tell you how they're trying to kill us off, I want to tell you that they really don't have to, because as expensive as cigarettes are these days, I know that a large contingent of smokers could be garnered by the U.S. government and sent to Iraq and Afghanistan in place of our brave men and women who are over there fighting and dying at much less cost. All they would have to do is provide them with a ticket, a stipend for their food daily, and free cigarettes. And you'd have smokers lined up from here, from the East Coast to the West Coast. And this is how they would do it. I mean, this plan, I just came up with this plan, it's genius. I think it's genius. Because as we all know, that this secondhand smoke stuff is so deadly, right? And third-hand smoke is so deadly that we could wipe out those terrorists in a short amount of time. And this is how they would do it. You'd split the smokers into 2 groups. One group will go out into the field, seeking out the enemy in the field, and hiding behind berms and sand dunes and things of this nature. And when they spot the terrorist, they wait for them to come up, right up top of them, draw back on that cigarette, and right in their face. Boom. Boop. Dead. Move on to the next one. And so on and so on. See how simple that is? Now, the other half of the group that's sent over there, they would have to be more clandestine, more covert. All right? So they walk around town, and when they see a terrorist, they just bump into them. Right? Or they perhaps more forcefully knock them down and then go, oh, sorry. Grab their hand, pull them up, and when they pull them up, they bring them to their chest, rub their faces a little bit, like they're, trying to comfort them. And because third-hand smoke isn't quite as deadly as second-hand smoke, they have a chance to walk away at least a few paces before the terrorist falls over dead. Huh? Is that diabolically clever or what? What'd you say? It sounds stupid? Well, that's just as stupid as saying the first, second, or third-hand smoke is a killer, because it's rubbish, it's nonsense. But what isn't nonsense is the fact that they're trying to kill us. And I call it quiet genocide. All right? Now you say, our government would never try to kill us. Big Pharma would never try to kill us. The tobacco companies certainly wouldn't try to kill us. Well, read you a Christmas story. Yeah, I know, it's, where are we? We're in August. But this is a Christmas story, and it's not exactly like "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." It was the night before Christmas, but it wasn't one you're thinking of. I'd like to read you something. It was Christmas Eve, 1926. The streets glittered with snow and lights, when the man afraid of Santa Claus stumbled into the emergency room at New York City's Bellevue Hospital. He was flushed, gasping with fear. Santa Claus, he kept telling the nurses, was just behind him, wielding a baseball bat. Before hospital staff realized how sick he was, the alcohol-induced hallucination was just a symptom. The man died. So did another holiday partygoer, and another. As dusk fell on Christmas, the hospital staff tallied up more than 60 people made desperately ill by alcohol and 8 dead from it. Within the next 2 days, yet another 23 people died in the city from celebrating the season. Doctors were accustomed to alcohol poisoning by then, the routine of life in the Prohibition era. The bootleg whiskeys and so-called gins often made people sick. The liquor produced in hidden stills frequently came tainted with metals and other impurities. But this outbreak was bizarrely different. The deaths, as investigators would shortly realize, came courtesy of the U.S. government. Frustrated that people continued to consume so much alcohol even after it was banned, federal officials had decided to try a different kind of enforcement. They ordered the poisoning of industrial alcohols manufactured in the United States, products regularly stolen by bootleggers and resold as drinkable spirits. The idea was to scare people into giving up illicit drinking. Instead, by the time Prohibition ended in 1933, the federal poisoning program had killed at least 10,000 people. Although mostly forgotten today, the chemist war of Prohibition remains one of the strangest and most deadly decisions in American law enforcement history. As one of its most outspoken opponents, Charles Norris, the chief medical examiner of New York City during the 1930s, liked to say, "It was our national experiment in extermination." During Prohibition, however, an official sense of higher purpose kept the poisoning program in place. As the Chicago Tribune editorialized in 1927, normally no American government would engage in such business. It is only in the curious fanaticism of Prohibition that any means, however barbarous, are justified. Others, however, accused lawmakers opposed to the poisoning plan of being in cahoots with criminals and argued that bootleggers and their law-breaking alcoholic customers deserve no sympathy. Must Uncle Sam guarantee safety first for souses? Asked Nebraska's Omaha Bee. Excuse me. See, now if I had a teleprompter, I wouldn't have to do this. By mid-1927, the Treasury Department demanded more methyl alcohol be added, up to 10% of total product. It proved most deadly. The results were immediate, starting with that horrific holiday body count in the closing days of 1926. Public health officials responded with shock. The government knows it is not stopping drinking by putting poison in alcohol, New York City medical examiner Charles Norris said at a hastily organized press conference. Yet it continues its poisoning processes, heedless of the fact that people determined to drink are daily absorbing that poison. Knowing this to be true, the United States government must be charged with the moral responsibility for the deaths that poisoned liquor causes, although it cannot be held legally responsible. Furious anti-prohibition legislatures pushed for a halt in the use of lethal chemistry. Only one possessing, this is a quote, only one possessing the instincts of a wild beast would desire to kill or make blind the man who takes a drink of liquor, even if he purchased it from one violating the prohibition statutes, proclaimed Senator James Reed of Missouri. So here's the thing, what most people don't realize is that it wasn't illegal to drink during Prohibition. You could drink illicit alcohol or illegal alcohol. It was the sale and manufacture of said alcohol, so that was illegal. So drinking it was not illegal. Purchasing it was, producing it was, selling it was, but not the actual drinking. And I'd like to ask you right now, who will speak for us today? How many bodies and illnesses will it take before somebody stands up? Where is the good senator from Missouri now? Where are the good senators from all the states now? The good congressmen from all the states now? You must contact them. You must tell them that you are systematically being killed by the U.S. government in association with Big Pharma and the true fanatics out there. All right. Now, unfortunately, I have to keep these segments, these episodes short, because it takes so long to put them on YouTube. The first episode that I put out took 5 hours and a half just to download. I believe it was 13 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to have to, in episode number 3, I'm going to have to tell you who has the patent on this death that I'm talking about. And yes, there's a patent on the death that I'm talking about, and how they're going about doing it. I can't do that now. However, what I can do is tell you that I'm trying to build a mighty force to combat those that would suppress our rights to smoke a legal product and kill us in the bargain. And as a health professional for decades, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And you'll find that out in future episodes as we go along. I'm here to save your life, I'm here to save your money, and I'm here to save your health. Now, before I go, let me remind you again of how you can contribute to our cause. By helping me, you help yourself. You go to paypal.com, you click on buy, you click on make a payment, you fill in your email address, and then you fill in to, and it's to SmokinMan at yahoo.com. SMOKIN, no G, MAM at yahoo.com. It's as simple as that. I'm not asking for a lot. What it will cost of a carton of cigarettes. And if you want to Twitter me, no, if you want to tweet me on Twitter, my handle is CoolSmokinMan. CoolSmokinMan. So, until next time, until episode 3, when I tell you how they're coming after us, smoke them if you got them.